I'm Chad from Chad DIY. In today's project, we're going to make an industrial pipe shelf with a front metal edge. So let's get started. So I'll start by taking my 1x10 Douglas fir board and ripping one of the edges off. The boards come with a round edge and I kind of want it just flat. I'm just lining it up on my table saw and then ripping it down. Next, I'll start adjusting my planer to get the board down to 1 1/4 inch to match the metal trim I have. If you don't have a planer, don't worry, you can just buy the metal as 1 1/2 inch to start with, which will match your board. I just wanted my shelf just a little thinner, so this is why I'm going through this step. As you can see, the board comes out really nice and smooth after being planed. Next, I'll just do some light sanding with 220 grit sandpaper to just smooth everything out. Just making sure the metal trim and the board are the same width. Now I will start marking out the locations of where the screws are going to go into the board. This piece of metal is 3 feet long, so I'm making marks at 2 inches from each end and 12.5 inches from each end. I will darken the marks up with a marker and I'll be ready to drill the holes. You could use a drill press to drill these holes, but they don't really need to be that precise, so I'm just using a hand drill. I'm just going to apply a little pressure and let the drill bit do the cutting. Next, I'll use the metal piece as a template to pre-drill the holes in the wooden shelf. Once again, I'm just using the hand drill to pre-drill the holes. Next, I'll start putting the 1/2 inch fittings together. I have 4 flanges, 2 elbows, 2 2.5 inch pieces, and 2 4.5 inch pieces. I'll list all these fittings in the video description so you can use that as a reference. I'm just going to use some channel locks to make sure they're nice and tight. And then clean them up and get them ready to paint. Now I'll move the project out to the garage and start staining the board a Minwax golden oak color. This is the same color stain I used on all the other projects in the room that this shelf is going. I'm just wiping it on with a foam brush and letting it set, and I'll come back and wipe it all clean. Now I'll move on to spray painting the black metal pipe. The color I'm using is flat black and it's a paint and primer all in one. A couple of coats and it's good to go. Next, I'll add the rubber washers that will go in between the metal and the wood. The rubber washers are about 1/4 inch thick and it really gives it a nice look with the metal edge sticking out a little bit. And here you can kind of see the gap in between the metal and the wood. Next, I'll start marking where I want the metal pipes to attach to the shelf. I'm just using a scrap piece of 1/4 inch wood, so there'll be a little gap in between the shelf and the wall. I already kind of have these measured out at 32 inches across from each other, so they'll both hit a stud when I mount them to the wall. I'll just use some self-tapping Craig screws to attach everything together. If you don't have self-tapping screws, I suggest you pre-drill the holes before attaching the industrial pipe. And now you have your finished shelf. It's a lot easier to attach a shelf with a little help, so I'm having Mrs. Chad DIY help me out. Once I have everything marked, I'll just use a 1/4-inch drill bit for my wall anchors. I'll also be drilling right into the studs, so I don't need every mark to have an anchor. Once again, an extra set of hands makes this process go a lot easier. I'll use 1.5 inch screws that go into the anchors and 2.5 inch screws that go into the studs. And here you have the finished shelf along with the rest of my man cave. I made this wall with scrap 2x4s that I cut down to different lengths and widths. Then I have a dartboard with the same golden oak wood behind it. Next I added a couple cabinets with a countertop and then just did some stone on the top of it. I also did a column on each side of the projector screen with the 2x4 scraps. And to hide the closet I did a 5-foot wide barn door. And here is the 100-inch projector screen that I made a few videos ago that I'll link up in the description. I hope you enjoyed the little man cave tour here I did quick. I think I will do one more of these shelves eventually. I have this big open space and I like to fill it up a little better. If you have any questions about this project, leave them in the comments below. And as always, please subscribe. Thanks.